What's going on, Jerome's? So we're 5-6 weeks out from the draft, but it does seem like everyone and their mom is all in and pile driving J.J. McCarthy to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, usually it's with a trade up, but sometimes not so much. And it does make sense. The Vikings are looking to grow and show with their own homegrown quarterback, Kevin O'Connell, Josh McCown, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. I definitely want their own dude in there. And even though they have Sam Darnold on a 1-year, $10 million deal, McCarthy definitely has the high traits that you can grow and show into and become the quarterback of the future, right? Even though run first offense, yada, yada, yada. How does he perform in big time spots, clutch games, as well as clutch third downs? I mean, he gets things done. And I feel like, is Jim Harbaugh the Dean Smith to J.J. McCarthy's Michael Jordan? I don't know. Or is it going to be more James Worthy, which is still pretty damn good? I don't know, man. But Mel Kiper Jr., Grand Poobah of the mock drafts over at ESPN, he released his 3.0 and made a couple changes, right? So up at 11. So there's no trades in Mel's mocks, but he still has J.J. McCarthy getting into the Vikings. Now, I highly doubt that J.J. gets out of the top 6, and I think if the Vikings want him, they're going to have to go get him. But this is what Mel wrote. The Vikings are now the most interesting team in this draft. They always were, Mel. Who the hell's Mel Kiper? They just acquired another first-round pick in a deal with the Texans, number 23, giving them the capital to move up and take a quarterback if they got the opportunity. But how far could they move up? Remember, it takes two sides to make a trade. Or hey, when I'm on the PFF simulator, I can just force a trade, man. That's what happens. Would the Giants want to risk missing out on one of the top receivers? Would the Titans want to risk missing out on their preferred tackle? Would the Falcons or Bears want to risk not getting the edge rusher they like? There's not an easy match unless Minnesota is willing to give up a lot of future picks, which is certainly possible. In this scenario, the Vikings can land their quarterback of the future anyway. With Kirk Cousins gone and Sam Darnold added on a 1-year deal, it's clear that they have to add competition. All signs point to the competition coming from all signs. Did I have a stroke or something? All signs point to that competition coming from a rookie. McCarthy is the number 21 prospect on my big board, but I can see why some teams would covet him much higher. He has intriguing physical traits and can make every throw. Either way, I was told he's Christian Ponder. Either way, if Minnesota really wants to move up in round 1 for a quarterback, I could see it waiting until draft day to see how the board shakes out. And yes, I feel like this is inevitable. Get your Tommy Kramer jerseys out. I'm back home. All right. And the thing about McCarthy, too, is that he's landing in a great situation. Like, he doesn't have to start right away. The pressure of the franchise is not on his shoulders. He wouldn't even be the face of the franchise. Justin friggin' Jefferson is. And with the whole JJ to JJ connection long-term work out, yes, I think it certainly could and should. But the Vikings, I love what they're doing on defense. I love that Flores is getting his guys, and securing your quarterback of the future would be the coup de grace of this complete offseason makeover from Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell. And then, like I said, no trades in this one. So Vikings at 23, Cooper DeJean, the cornerback coming out of Iowa. We're back to the Vikings, who acquired this pick and deal with the Texans last week. I gave them Kirk Cousins, replacement number 11, and they're keeping this selection. They have to address the secondary, which ranked 28th in passing yards allowed to receivers, 3,019 last season. Doesn't seem good. I like the front 7 additions of Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel, but Minnesota hasn't made moves at cornerback. Now, this was released before the signing of Shaquille Griffin, but I mean, Shaq's more veteran depth at this point. I'm a huge fan of DeJean, who is still recovering from a broken leg suffered in November. He's a ball hawk. He had 7 interceptions over his final 23 college games with excellent technique. He also isn't afraid of sticking his head in and making a tackle. Now, Cooper DeJean does have some talent, man. And we got some flack. It's like, hey, why do you hate Cooper DeJean when we took Quinion Mitchell in our last mock draft? It really is different strokes for different folks type of thing, where I feel like Flores needs that press man corner on the outside. Cooper DeJean probably better suited for zone or potentially a move to safety, but he is an absolute playmaker on the back end of that defense. He's just turned 21 in February. He's 6'1", 203, unanimous All-American, and he really can do it all. He plays downhill, can make a tackle, has great football instincts too. Also, the best punt return in the country, average 11.5 yards per punt return. Also had 1 punt return touchdown. Didn't have 2 last year. But also 41 tackles, 5 passes broken up, 2 interceptions last year, and 3 pick sixes in 2022. And teams just started throwing away from him because that's sort of what happens, where you'll see elite defensive backs. They'll have like a big sophomore year, and then their junior year, their numbers dwindle, right? But really what it is, it's quarterbacks and offensive coordinators going away from them. It's exactly what happens, man. It's also why his tackle numbers are down from his from his sophomore year, because teams just started running away from him. That's what happens, man. But I would love Cooper DeJean all up in there too. But yeah, the crown jewel, of course, would be McCarthy, and I think that, absent a trade up into the top 3 of getting May or Daniels, I think McCarthy, frankly, you want to set the world on fire? Like, what if the Vikings trade up to 2 and take McCarthy over Daniels or May? I don't think that's the craziest scenario, but I guess we'll certainly see it. And like we said, we're not pig-headed enough to say, it's like, hey, this guy can't do that. But if all the scouts and Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell and Josh McCown, they all say that J.J. McCarthy can be the guy and the future franchise dude for the Vikings, who am I to disagree, right? And like we said, he's coming into probably the best situation a first-round quarterback has ever dropped into. Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the game. Jordan Addison, one of the best young receivers in the game as well. Hawkinson is a top 3 tight end when he's healthy, and he's not 3. Darissa O'Neal, a revised running game and a great defense, plus a great offensive mind, coaching brain trust. He's going to be good to go. It's going to be good to go, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Mel Kiper Jr., Mock Draft 3.0, giving the Vikings a pair of Big Ten luminaries. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts and his thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.